Think about it. When you're afraid of fire, you run away. When you're afraid of an enemy, you hide. But when you're afraid of Allah, you run towards him. That fear doesn't break you, it heals you. Hazrat Ali, said it best. How strange is man, that when he fears something, he runs away from it. But when he fears Allah, he gets closer to him. And this truth changed one man's entire life. Do you want to hear his story? When fear brings you closer to Allah, Hazrat Ali's wisdom that will change your life. How strange is man that when he is afraid of something, he runs away from it. But when he is afraid of Allah, he gets closer to him. These words of Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib, echo through time, striking the hearts of all who hear them. Fear is a strange companion. It makes people flee, hide, or escape. Yet the fear of Allah is different. It draws people closer, makes them humble, and gives them peace. This is the story of one such man who learned the meaning of this wisdom in the most unexpected way. The man's name was Imran. He was a young merchant in Baghdad during the golden age of Islam. Known for his wit and sharp tongue, Imran was not particularly religious. He believed in Allah, yes, but he lived as if this world was forever. He loved the marketplace, the coins clinking in his pouch, and the sweet taste of victory when he tricked someone into paying more than they should. He was charming, confident, but his heart was restless. At night, when a market closed and the lanterns dimmed, Imran often lay awake, staring at the wooden beams of his roof. Something gnawed at him, but he drowned it with wine and laughter and gatherings that numbed the soul. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the call to prayer echoed across Baghdad, Imran was rushing through the alleys after a late trade. The streets were nearly empty, shadows stretching long. Suddenly, a group of masked bandits appeared, blocking his way. Their swords gleamed under the dying sun. Imran froze. His heart raced. Fear coursed through his veins. He thought of running, but they encircled him. "Hand over the pouch, merchant," one of them growled. Imran's hand trembled as he clutched his belt where his earnings lay. It wasn't just money. It was his pride, his security, his hard-earned wealth. His mind screamed, "What if they kill me even after I give it?" His legs weakened. In that moment of terror, his lips moved instinctively, not calling for guards, not cursing, but whispering, "Ya Allah, save me." It surprised even him. For years, his tongue rarely called upon Allah in sincerity. But now, facing death, it was the first name his heart remembered. The bandits advanced. Imran closed his eyes, expecting the cold slice of a blade. Suddenly, a thunderous voice echoed from the alley's entrance. "Stop!" A tall man in simple garments, carrying no weapon but a staff, walked forward. His eyes blazed with authority. The bandits hesitated, fear flickering in their faces as if some unseen force paralyzed them. One by one, they backed away into the shadows until they vanished. The stranger turned to Imran and simply said, "Do not fear men more than you fear Allah. For men can only take your wealth or your life, but Allah can grant or withhold eternity." Imran stammered, Who are you?" The man did not answer. He only raised his hand toward the masjid's minaret in the distance, where the call of Isha prayer echoed. Then he walked away, disappearing into the crowd. Imran never saw his face again. That night, Imran could not sleep. His mind replayed the scene. The bandits, the fear, the mysterious savior, and those words that pierced his heart. He realized something. When he feared the bandits, his instinct was to run, to hide, to escape. But when he feared Allah in that moment of desperation, he found himself calling out, not running away. And with that call, help arrived. The next day, Imran went to the marketplace, but everything seemed different. The coins he once adored felt cold in his palm. The laughter of trickery tasted bitter. He remembered the stranger's words, "Do not fear men more than Allah." That evening, instead of joining his usual gathering of merchants and wine, he walked hesitantly into the masjid. The imam was reciting from Surah Al-Ankabut. Do the people think that they will be left to say, "We believe," and they will not be tested? Imran shivered. He felt as if the verse was directed to him. Tears welled in his eyes, tears he did not understand. Why was he crying? Perhaps because for the first time, he realized how weak he was, how fleeting his wealth was, and how close death could be. He bowed his head in sajda, whispering, "Ya Allah, forgive me." From that day, Imran's life began to change, but not without struggle. His old friends mocked him. "The merchant has become a saint," they laughed. He lost business because he refused to cheat customers anymore. His pouch grew lighter. At times, he felt fear again, fear of poverty, fear of loneliness. But each time his heart trembled, he remembered the night of the bandits and how Allah saved him when no one else could. Slowly, the fear of men diminished, and the fear of Allah grew stronger. Not the kind of fear that makes one run away, but the kind that pulls the heart closer. Months passed. One evening, a devastating fire broke out in the marketplace. Stalls burned, people screamed, chaos erupted. Imran's stall, too, caught flames. His wealth, his merchandise, everything turned to ash. He stood watching, helpless, tears streaming down his face. The old Imran would have collapsed in despair, cursing fate. But now, in the midst of flames, he raised his hands and whispered, "Ya Allah, you are enough for me. If you take, you will give better." Neighbors were astonished at his calmness. They asked, "Imran, how can you stand so still when your life's work burns away?" He replied with trembling lips, "Because the one I fear most is the one who loves me most. If Allah wills to test me, He is still near, and that nearness is greater than gold or silver." That night, as he sat among the ashes, a young boy approached him. The boy was barefoot, thin, holding a piece of bread. He said, "Uncle, you look hungry. Take this." Imran took the bread, tears filling his eyes. He realized that in losing his wealth, Allah had given him something greater, a heart that tasted true faith, a heart that drew closer with every trial. Years later, Imran became known not for his cunning trade, but for his generosity and wisdom. People sought his counsel. He would tell them, "Fear will always follow you. If you fear men, you will run forever. But if you fear Allah, you will find yourself running toward Him, and in Him you'll find peace." And whenever he shared this, he would recall Hazrat Ali's words, "How strange is man that when he is afraid of something he runs away from it, but when he is afraid of Allah, he gets closer to Him." Imran's story spread across Baghdad. Children grew up hearing it, merchants whispered it in their stalls, and travelers carried it to far lands. His life became a living proof that fear of Allah is not terror, but mercy. It is the rope that pulls the heart out of darkness and closer to the light. And when Imran finally returned to Allah in his old age, people remembered him not as the clever merchant, but as the man who discovered the sweetest paradox of all: fear that leads to love, trembling that leads to peace, loss that leads to eternal gain. Brothers and sisters, fear Allah not as one fears punishment, but as one fears losing the love of the most merciful. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Deen in Minute for more life-changing reminders. Let your fear guide you back to Allah, because in Him is the only true safety.